Okay, guys, thanks for sticking around, for covering us. Really proud of our team. You know, it's pretty well chronicled. We're a little beat up right now, but a bunch of guys laid it on the line for their teammates, and super proud of them, super proud of our staff. They really busted their hump to get some things cleaned up, and just a really good win for our program. So try to answer any questions I can.
Defensively, it looked more like what we're used to seeing out of your teams. What do you think the difference was today?
Well, we're just a little bit healthier, but I think the biggest difference is Coach Harasimiak literally stripped it down to the studs and rebuilt it in 2 weeks, which I don't think he slept. And he and I, talked a lot. I'm just so proud of him, the leadership that he provided to the whole defensive staff and to our team. And the guys played for each other. That's the biggest thing that came out of today, is they just literally put it on the line for each other. And that was what we talked about all week. That was what, we don't really do themes around here, but that became a theme. Military Appreciation Day today. We had an opportunity to have a really special speaker, and I'm not going to get into names and stuff, but he was a Navy SEAL, and he talked to our team about an exercise they do, where they cover your head and they have it all crazy environment, and then you take it off and you got to go, and there's one of you and 5 of them, and you got to get across the other side of the room. In all his years, he never saw it done. But when you put 5 guys and 25 across the room, when they play and fight for the guy on the right and the guy on the left, they get across. And I told our team, I said, we got to get across the room. It's the only way we're going to get this one done. And that's why at the end of the game we went over, after we shook hands, we went over to the other side, because that was the other side of the room. And the only way we were going to get there was doing it for each other.
The defense has had some rough performances, but your offense has actually clicked pretty well the last few weeks. What do you think has been the difference for that side of the ball?
I think we're just continuing to get better. There's no aha moment. I think everybody's getting more and more comfortable with the little details that are required, and the way we practice and continue to, we don't do a ton. We just try to do what we do, to try to do it exact and do it well. I think our quarterback, Ethan, did a heck of a job. He's been doing a heck of a job. He's getting better and better. Really proud of those young backs today. With Kyle out, Jashawn Benjamin and Antoine. I mean, those guys just, it's a true freshman and a redshirt freshman. Really proud of them. And then there was one time I look out there and we got Ian and KJ, those guys are, again, a freshman and a sophomore. And then Dymere Miller did a heck of a job. So proud of our guys. The offensive line fought their guts out against a really veteran defense. Really veteran. Really good. I was proud of them.
Said earlier in the week that this game didn't mean anything more, given it was his former team, obviously. Did you see anything different from him during the week, that maybe it was a little bit extra significance or anything different from him?
I really didn't, Chris. I think, let's be real. We're all human, right? And it's not easy, especially when you get asked about it everywhere you turn. But I thought what he did is he compartmentalized perfectly and got himself in a place where he could focus on the job at hand. He did a great job of it all the way up to the very, very end of the game. Really, really proud. He's getting better. I mean, the whole offense is just continuing, like we talked about, getting a little bit better every week, and really proud of those guys.
You had an embrace with Ethan after the game. A lot of his teammates did as well. Ethan may not have looked at this as a different game, but did you get a sense that guys wanted to win this game for him because of the emotions of the game?
I think they wanted to win it for each other, not just for Ethan. I think that's the one thing that really happened this week, is we circled the wagons and said the only way we're going to do, think about it. Kyle's not playing. We got all 7 guys out for the year. We're leading sacker now. It declared that we just decided we can't keep. It's not worth it, right? So And Kyle today, I mean, Kyle was close. He wanted to play. It killed him not to play today. But you don't mess around. You know, you just don't mess around with a guy. Sometimes you got to protect them from themselves. And not an easy thing to do, right? He's top rusher and has been. But that's where I thought as a team they really just gave it up for each other. You know, you look at a guy like Tyreen Powell, who obviously everyone knows has been playing hurt, playing in a lot of pain. I mean, the play of the game, right? He knocks that ball loose, and it's old-fashioned bite the ball. It's no fancy schmancy. He put his face right on the ball and popped it out, and huge.
Coach, as a defensive coordinator, for the first half, you guys didn't play with a lot of discipline on defense, with eyes, hands coordination. But the second half, you cut all the big plays. What major adjustments did you make in the second half?
Yeah, I didn't see it that way, to be frank with you. I thought we played really well in both halves defensively. We had a couple penalties, you know, that's uncharacteristic of us. We usually don't get those kind of penalties. But I thought they played really hard the whole game and got after the quarterback. We didn't get him down in the first half. That was the difference, right? We had him dead to rights and didn't get him down. The second half, we got after him and got him down. And, you know, you look at that running back, he's a really good player. You know, I think as a team, they maybe rushed for 30-something yards. Again, hats off to those guys, you know, and, you know, DJ DeBomi, just all year long, you know, a guy who comes out of nowhere. A guy today that I thought really played well was Bo Masco. I mean, Bo oftentimes was on their best receiver, number 9, and I'll tell you what, he played the way I know he can play. So I think, again, for each other, they went out and kind of took some risks and laid it on the line, and again, proud of them.
Greg, how important emotionally was that play by Tyreen, and maybe even just broader how important Tyreen, period, and his ability to play through that has been for this team?
Yeah, Tyreen is a fabulous talent. As I've said to you guys before, had he not gotten hurt at Indiana last year, he wouldn't be here right now. He was literally a top 50 pick. Every person that was coming into this building and coming to our practices, every scout, that's who they wanted to talk about. His stock was going through the roof. And it was sad because he had never gotten hurt. And all of a sudden he has the one injury, and then he's coming back from that, and he gets the second injury. I mean, it was very unfortunate. And then this year he gets a muscle deal that has made him, it just seems, he's a tough sucker because he just keeps fighting. He keeps fighting. And the easy thing for him to do would be say, hey, I'm just going to heal up and rest on what I did the year before, not him. He's a great teammate. And that was a huge play in the game, though, right? Huge.
Greg, how important is it just to go out and to win a game, to get that feeling back?
Yeah, it's very important. There's no doubt about it, right? When you're winning, you feel like you can't lose. And then when you're losing, sometimes you feel like you can't win. You know, and especially when you lose a few in a row, or like we did 4 in a row. And as a coach, my job is to step away and really look at it. Okay, this we've done. We did this well enough to win. We did this well enough. This is what's killing us. And like I said, I thought Coach Harasimiak, Coach Shiraka, they did an incredible job leading their side of the ball. And Eddie Allen, who works with me on special teams, he did an incredible job. Those 3 guys, great leadership, and they led their staffs, and then their staffs in turn led their players, and that's what it took. It took every last guy to get it done today.
Coach, to build on that point of the toughness of the defense, you guys have been depleted all season, and you know, this fourth quarter was very dominant. You guys put on a dominant performance. How impactful and, you know, how important is that moving forward later in the season? What does that do for the confidence of the defense?
Well, I think it certainly should give them confidence. I think they got back to who they were today. You know, and it has nothing to do with X's and O's, although X's and O's are important. It has nothing to do with technique, although technique's critically important. I think that unit laid on the line for each other, literally splattered their bodies all over the field for each other. And that's how you make the plays. I stand up here often to, you know, and talk to you guys and say, hey, football games take on a life of their own. And they do. They do. They make sharp turns. And that hit by Tyreen Powell, that was one of those sharp turns. That writes the story. And, we talk about you write your own story, but too many times people want to make it about the whole story, the end of the story. You write the story one word at a time. Not one sentence, not one paragraph, one word at a time. That's one play at a time. That's one drill at a time in practice. That's, one treatment in the training room at a time. And that's what gets lost on people, I think, sometimes, as they think about the big end result.
Could you speak about Ja'Shawn Benjamin in particular in the second half and in the fourth quarter seemed to be his hardest running?
Yeah, I mean, we know, we call him Benji. We know Benji is a really good back. We set out this year, if we could, to redshirt him. And fortunately, we are able to. Now he has four. He hadn't played, and now we have 3 games left now. But he played. He can play in all 4 of these, and then play in the postseason and still keep his redshirt year. So that was the plan. And I'm glad that we were able to do it. But man, did he step up! Now you got to remember. Think back to the Northwestern game last year, the opener. I mean, Benji really showed what he can do, and I think Antoine. I think we have some good young backs around here. And certainly when you lose your first team guy, and we already lost our second team guy, who really isn't a second team. I mean, Sam was a co-first team guy. When you lose those 2 guys and you're down to you're 3 and 4, and they step up, that's impressive.
Obviously, your offense has been playing better. How much credit do you give to the way your offensive line has played the last couple of weeks? And I know it's tough to see in games like this, but just generally, your thoughts on the offensive line and the importance of a guy like Holland Pierce.
Yeah, I think the offensive line, you don't hear me saying it anymore. Like, as the O-line goes, we'll go, because the O-line is performing like a Big Ten offensive line. Are we at the top yet? No. But we can go out and play with anybody and perform. There's sometimes we get beat, right? I mean, we're not world beaters, but we play well, and Coach Flaherty does an unbelievable job, he and his staff, with those guys. And you got a guy like Holland Pierce, who is a legitimate big-time player. He'll play in the NFL for a long time. So we're talking about good players, and so I think they're doing a good job. The guy I didn't mention who I wanted was Jacob Anderson, and he did a really good job, I thought, punting the ball today. That's a big play in those games, the field position, and I think he was an important part. And then Scullion did a good job kicking off. I think those were important plays in the game. Proud of our guys. Really grateful for all the military personnel that got honored today. I know I do. I value the heck out of those people. They give us the opportunity to do what we do. And it's a small way to honor them, but I thought that was really cool. And again, the message we got from one of those military personnel on Friday, and then the message we had from our speaker on Friday night, all aligned. So God had a plan for us today and this week, and I'm grateful for that. So thanks, guys.